Okay, so let's just unpack this right out of the gate.
Let's do it.
Because, for thousands of years, basically since we developed language and started painting on cave walls, humans have been absolutely obsessed with one specific...
Right, the end.
The end, exactly. The final curtain.
It is the ultimate unknown. I mean, it's the only guarantee in life besides taxing.
And we've built, entire civilizations around it.
Absolutely.
Massive religion, libraries full of philosophy. We've literally stared up at the stars for millennia, trying to figure out what happens when the lights go out.
Right. Is death the end of the line, or is there something else?
Exactly. And usually when we have that conversation, it's very spiritual. Yes, it's metaphysical. It's about the soul, the ether, the great beyond.
And this is the big but for today.
Right.
According to the massive stack of research we were walked today, that answer might actually...
It really might. And it's not because we found a fountain of youth in the Amazon or something.
Oh.
And it isn't some global spiritual awakening.
Not at all. It is because of a patent filing.
Which is...
Yeah, possibly the least spiritual way to achieve immortality.
A lawyer filing paperwork in a government office.
Exactly. But here is the hook for you as we start this deep dive, and it is a really big one. The source material we're analyzing today suggests that death might not be the final plane of existence anymore.
At least not if you have a social media profile.
Right. So today, we're doing a deep dive into a story involving Meta,
the parent company of Facebook and Instagram.
The keeper of the archive.
The place where your high school prom photos currently live.
Yeah, all of it. So they have filed for a patent that outlines a very specific technology. They call it a digital clone.
A digital clone.
Right. And the source material we are analyzing, which includes this really passionate, very heated discussion from a show called Pop Culture Crisis. They essentially frame this as the beginning of the zombie account.
Zombie account. I mean, it's a vivid way to put it.
It definitely does. But when you look at the technical specifics of the patent, it's actually not inaccurate.
No, it's pretty spot on.
Because we aren't talking about a static memorial.
Right, like where people just leave a rest in peace comment.
Or where your cousin posts a memory once a year on your birth. We are talking about a large language model, an LLM.
A highly advanced one.
Exactly. And it is designed to simulate a person's social media activity.
And that is the heavy lifter in that sentence.
It does all the work.
That is the word that changes everything for you and me.
It is, because this thing is an actor.
Right.
It's a performer. The patent describes a system that can post status update. It can comment on news articles.
It can react to your friend's photos with emojis.
And it does all of this as if it were you. It's active, not passive.
So just to set the stakes here for everyone listening, because it's kind of wild to visualize.
It is.
I could be gone, physically, biologically gone, buried. But my profile is still there. It's active. It's dropping fire emojis on my cousin's wedding photos.
That is exactly the capability described in the patent.
Wow.
And it explicitly notes 2 specific triggers for activating this AI. The first is actually for the living.
Okay.
It's for when a user takes a prolonged, they call it the abs.
Got it. Like a vacation.
Right. But the second trigger is when the user is deceased.
Man. So it creates a version of you that just persists.
It does.
Now, I have to say, reading through the transcript of the source discussion we're looking at.
From Pop Culture Crisis.
Right. The people analyzing this, they weren't exactly thrilled about this innovation.
That is putting it mildly.
Yeah, they didn't see this as some glorious preservation of life.
Their reaction was visceral horror.
Visceral.
They used words like horrible, depressing.
The worst possible thing.
Yes. There is a deep sense of violation in their reaction.
I can see why.
It's the idea that you cannot escape the platform, even in death.
The ultimate tether.
You are chained to the feed for eternity.
It really feels like we're walking into a distinct type of sci-fi dystopia.
Very black.
Or a cyberpunk novel. But our mission today in this deep dive isn't just to gawk at the creepy factor.
Though we will definitely.
Oh, absolutely. But we need to really understand the implications. So we're going to look at how this zombie algorithm actually learns to be you.
Because it's a lot more complex than just a standard chatbot.
And we need to look at the why.
Right. Companies don't just build these things for fun.
Costs money.
A lot of money.
Yeah.
We'll explore the intense pressure of the creator economy.
Why a living person might actually want this.
And we definitely need to talk about the philosophy behind it all.
Transhumanism.
Mining the human mind for data.
And the risks, of course. What happens when your digital ghost goes rogue.
Exactly.
Plus, what this means for the people left behind. The grief, the confusion, the emotional toll of seeing a dead person, quote unquote, typing in a chat window.
It's a lot to cover.
So let's just get into it.
Let's dive in.
So first things first, we need to understand the mechanism.
How does it actually work?
Right. How does this zombie algorithm operate? Because, we've all interacted with bad chatbots.
The customer service ones.
Ugh, yes.
Yeah.
The ones that just cycle through 3 pre-written responses.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that.
Exactly. If my digital ghost sounds like that, nobody is going to be fooled. My friends would know immediately that it wasn't me.
And that is the specific hurdle Meta is trying to clear with this patent.
Okay.
The source material explains that this isn't a generic AI.
It's not just ChatGPT.
Right. It doesn't just guess what a generic human might say in a situation. It trains on user-specific data.
User-specific, so it's studying me.
It is studying you obsessively.
It's not studying people in general, it's studying my account.
Yes. It looks at your historical platform activity.
Okay.
It analyzes your past comments. It looks at the things you've liked over the last 10 years.
10 years of data.
Whatever is there. It looks at the content you've up. It is essentially building a complete psychological and linguistic profile.
So it's trying to capture my voice, my cadence.
Exactly. The way you construct a sentence.
Wow.
It aims to understand not just what you post, but how you behaved when you posted.
How you behaved. That's a great distinction.
And the source material brings up a really fascinating point about authenticity.
Right.
They argue that for this to work, for it to be a true digital clone that fools people, it actually can't be grammatically perfect.
Because humans aren't grammatically perfect. I'm certainly not.
Precisely.
I make typos all the time.
We all do.
Yeah.
If the bot writes like a college professor or a polished PR press release,
Right.
but you normally write like teenager texting in a hurry, the illusion breaks immediately.
That's the uncanny valley effect.
Yes. We reject things that look almost human but are just slightly off.
It's unsettling.
If your digital ghost starts using semicolons correctly and you've literally never used one in your life,
Everyone knows it's a fake.
they spot it instantly.
The source gave a really specific, really funny example of this that I think just nails the concept.
The spelling.
Right. One of the speakers in the source mentioned a specific misspelling they do habitually.
The at least example.
Yes, they spell at least as one word. At least.
Like ATLEAST.
Exactly. And they explain why in the source. It's a habit from the old Twitter days.
The 140-character limit.
Oh, the dark ages of social media.
It really was.
You had to butcher the English language just to fit a single thought in. You were cutting vowels out of words.
They were combining words.
Using numbers instead of letters.
It was a lawless time online.
It was. So this speaker habitually squished at least into one word just to save a single character of space.
And even though the character limit is practically gone now or expanded way past that, the habit remains.
It's muscle memory at this point.
It's a quirk, an eccentricity.
It's a fingerprint. It's something that is uniquely them.
And the insight from the source here is profound, very much so.
If the AI corrects that,
Right.
if the AI writes at least properly as 2 words, it fails.
It fails the test. To be a convincing clone, the AI actually needs to be trained to replicate your errors.
That has to be flawed.
It needs to know that you don't know the difference between there, and there.
Or that you refuse to use capitalization.
Or that you use way too many exclamation points on a Friday.
That is so wild to think about. We usually think of AI as making us smarter, right?
Correcting our mistakes.
Yeah. Grammarly, spell check, it's all about fixing us to be better.
But here, the goal is to artificially dumb it down to match our specific human flaws.
Because the flaws are what make us feel real.
The flaws are the signal of humanity.
Yeah.
If I suddenly started speaking to you right now in perfect rhythmic pentameter with 0 pauses,
You'd sound like a robot.
you know something was wrong. You wouldn't think, wow, he's so smart.
I think you were possessed.
Or replaced by a pod person.
They're replaced by a large language model.
And that is the fear. That's the core of it.
Now, before we go any further into the deep dive, it is important to note Meta's official stance here.
Yes, we have to be fair to the documentation and the reporting.
Right. In the source material, they mention that Meta has stated they have no plans to move forward with this specific example from the patent.
No plans.
The classic corporate denial. We just found this patent lying.
Right. And the source material is incredibly skeptical of this denial.
Oh, completely. One speaker literally says, I don't believe them for a second.
Because why do they file it if they aren't going to use it? That is always the question.
Patents aren't cheap.
Lawyers aren't cheap either.
Exactly.
Now, that is the standard question. Companies do often file defensive patents.
Defensive patents. Meaning what exactly?
Meaning they patent an idea just so no one else can build it?
To block the competition.
Right. They want to own the digital clone space, even if they don't plan to build.
Got it. But the source suggests that Silicon Valley isn't exactly known for its transparency regarding long-term goals.
The general feeling is we're building the capability and we'll roll it out when we think we can get away.
Or when the demand is there.
Or when the culture has shifted enough that people just accept it as normal.
Which perfectly brings us to the next part of this deep dive.
The logic of the living.
Right. Section 2. Because this isn't just about dead people.
No.
The patent isn't just for the deceased, it's for the absent.
The absent user.
So let's say I'm not dead, I'm in Cabo.
Lucky you.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sipping a margarita on the beach. I'm watching the sunset.
This is the vacation mode scenario.
Yeah. And this is where the source material pivots to a really fascinating critique of modern psychology. They ask, why would a living person hand their account over to a bot just because they are on a trip?
Why can't you just be offline?
They called it narcissism, didn't they? They didn't pull any punches.
They did not. They lean heavily into the narcissism market.
It's a strong accusation.
The idea is that modern social media users, specifically those deeply entrenched in the culture of it, have this inflated sense of self-importance.
They believe the world literally cannot survive a week without knowing their opinion on current events.
It's main character syndrome.
I'm the protagonist of reality, so if I'm not posting, reality just pauses.
Exactly. And the source paints this really vivid picture to explain it.
The couple on vacation.
Right. Imagine a couple going on vacation together. One partner says, let's do a no-phone vacation.
Let's actually connect. Let's look at each other instead of our screens.
And the user says, okay, sure, let's do it.
But secretly.
Secretly, they feel this intense compulsion.
So they set up the bot.
Yes. So while they are sitting on the beach, physically present with their partner.
Their digital ghost is out there arguing about politics on Twitter.
Or posting hot takes on the news of the day.
It completely defeats the purpose of the no-phone rule.
Entirely. You are physically present, but your digital avatar is still fighting in the trenches back home.
You haven't actually disconnected. You've just automated your connection.
It creates a bizarre disconnect between your biological reality and your digital reality.
Yeah. And this is but the source also identifies a structural reason for this behavior.
Right. It's not just vanity.
It's not just pure narcissism.
No, it's the economy.
The creator economy. This is where it gets highly pragmatic.
We have to look at the financial incentive.
Because the source notes that algorithms, whether we are talking about YouTube, Instagram, TikTok,
they punish silence?
They do. If you are a YouTuber or an influencer or you're running a business page, you know this deep in your bones.
You feel it.
If you stop posting for a week, your engagement metrics just drop off a cliff.
The algorithm stops recommending you to new...
You lose all your momentum.
And for these people, momentum is literal money.
Engagement is rent.
Exactly. For monetized accounts, taking a break means losing income.
It means dropping out of the...
So the source suggests an aha moment here. This tool might not be for the average user who just posts photos of their lunch or their cat.
Right.
It might be specifically marketed as utility for creators.
It's automation. It's a B2B tool.
It's feeding the beast. The algorithm demands content 24/7.
But humans need sleep.
And vacations.
So the AI bridges that gap.
It changes the perspective entirely.
Yeah.
From a creepy zombie to a pragmatic business tool.
It's an out-of-office reply, but instead of a static email saying, I'll be back Monday,
it's a bot that creates dynamic content to keep your audience entertained while you're gone.
Keep the shop open while I'm away.
Leave the lights on.
Wow. When you put it that way, it actually makes a lot of business sense.
It does, but that convenience comes with massive, massive risks.
Right. Which brings us to section 3 of our deep dive, the risks of autopilot.
Because if I'm in Cabo...
and I'm respecting the no-phone rule.
I'm not checking what the bot is actually posting.
I'm trusting it to do its job.
And trust is a very dangerous thing when it comes to LLM.
We've seen this play out already. We know these models can hallucinate.
They drift.
They get confused by context.
Exactly. The source sketches out a nightmare scenario where a user is on vacation and their digital clone decides to go rogue.
Rogue how?
Yeah.
Like posting nonsense, talking about alien abduction.
Worse. Much worse.
Okay.
The source mentions the bot could post slurs.
Oh, man.
It could post highly offensive political takes that you don't actually agree with.
Right.
It could post, quote, creepy shit, end quote. That's directly from the source, on other people's profiles.
Imagine your bot flirting inappropriately with someone.
Or threatening someone.
Oh, God. Imagine waking up, checking your phone after a week of bliss, and finding out your bot has been harassing people all night and you've been canceled.
Your reputation is in absolute tatters.
And here's the really tricky part that the source highlights about.
The legal and social aspect.
The I got hacked defense.
Right. It doesn't work anymore.
Nobody believes that anyway. It's the dog ate my homework of the internet age.
Exactly. Every celebrity who posts something awful says they were hacked.
But in this case, it's not even a lie.
Yeah.
You weren't hacked.
You authorized the software?
You gave it permission to speak as you.
You sign the terms of service.
So theoretically and legally, you are responsible for the slur.
You are responsible for the harassment.
That is a total liability nightmare. You can't blame the tool if you turned it on and walked away.
It's like leaving a brick on the gas pedal of your car and then acting surprised when it crashes into a building.
Right. You set it in motion.
Exactly. And then beyond the bot just making mistakes, there is the external threat.
Security vulnerabilities.
Yes. The source brings up a truly terrifying point about hackers targeting these automated accounts.
Specifically the accounts of the deceased.
Yes. Think about it. Imagine a deceased version of a profile.
Okay.
The family trusts it. They see it as a memorial. Or maybe they are actively interacting with the AI version for comfort.
It's a sacred space for them.
It's highly emotional. Now, if a scammer hacks that specific account,
oh, wow. They could weaponize the grief.
exactly. They could use the digital avatar of a dead loved to manipulate the family.
Sending messages like, hey, I'm stuck in a digital limbo. I need you to transfer money.
Or whatever the scam is. Or, I need you to click this link to see my final message to you.
It sounds absurd that someone would fall for that.
Logically, yes. But grief makes people incredibly vulnerable.
It bypasses your logic centers entirely.
It really does. You just want to hear from them one more time.
That is absolutely stomach-turning. It's predatory in the worst possible way.
And it leads us right into the emotional weight of this whole concept.
Right. We've talked about the tech, the money, the liability.
But we need to talk about the digital afterlife, the grief aspect. Section
The source material focuses heavily on this.
and does.
The patent itself, and this is some very interesting phrase, frames the technology as a benefit to the fall.
Not the use of the followers.
Right. It basically says your followers will miss you when you're gone.
So, to avoid disrupting their user experience, the show must go on.
That feels so cold.
It feels extremely corporate.
Don't let a little thing like death ruin your engagement.
We don't want the user to feel sad that the content stopped flowing.
It creates this creep factor that is just hard to shake.
It is. And the source shares a very specific anecdote that really grounds this in reality.
It's the grandmother story.
Yes.
This was the one about the green dot.
Exactly. One of the speaker's source recounted that his wife's grandmother passed away.
Obvious.
Very sad. And family, just for holidays, travel, trying to get everyone together, they waited a while to actually hold the funeral.
Which is common.
Right. But during that interim period, family members had her phone.
They were probably looking at old photos.
Or notifying people in her contact. Or just handling her affairs.
So the phone was active.
It was unlocked and being used by the living.
Which meant her Facebook status showed as online.
The green dot was lit up.
And people saw that.
People saw it, and because they saw that green dot, people began interacting with the deceased woman's account. They sent messages. They maybe thought, oh, she's awake or she's okay. The rumors of her passing were false.
That is haunting.
It is.
It's like seeing a ghost in the machine. You send a message thinking she's right there on the other end.
Yeah.
But it's just a phone sitting on a nightstand somewhere.
The source uses this story to illustrate a really profound
What's that?
that we are already quasi-transhumanists.
Quasi-transhumanists. Meaning we're already part machine in how we live socially.
Exactly. Even without this new AI patent, our digital profiles already live longer than we do. They show online, they hold our memories, they send out birthday reminders long after we're gone.
This patent just automates the activity. It takes that passive green dot and gives it an active voice.
Which might make it even worse.
Yeah. Seeing a green dot is one thing. That's passive.
Getting a new comment from a dead person is a whole different level of trauma.
Or better, depending on your view. I mean, we have to present both sides. Some might argue it's comforting.
The source compares it to other technologies popping up right now. They mention an app which they explicitly describe as demonic, where you can record a grandmother while she is still alive to preserve her presence.
I've heard of things like that, like Storyfile and those types of platforms.
Right.
You sit down, you answer 500 questions on video.
And then later, your great-grandkids can ask the hologram question, then it retrieves the right clip.
The source describes the ad for this as the creepiest thing I've ever seen.
But they also admit that for some people, it's preservation.
It's history, like an interactive photo album.
Exactly. It's the same with the recent AI videos mimicking the creator, Scott Adams, that they brought up.
We're rapidly blurring the line between a recording and a simulation.
When does a memory become a...
That is the question. And that blurring of the line, and that's the philosophical core here, that brings us to Section 5. Why are we pushing for this as a society? Or at least why is tech pushing for it?
Actually,
The source argue that this is Silicon Valley's true religion, right?
that is the overarching theory presented. The source suggests that Silicon Valley leaders are, at their core, transhumanists.
They view themselves as pushing humanity beyond physical forms.
They want to upload consciousness. They want to defeat death entirely.
They see the biological body as a limitation, a bug in the system that just needs a software.
Exactly. But the source doesn't seem to think this is a noble quest.
Not at all. They aren't buying the evolution angle one bit.
No, they call it a soulless perspective.
Soulless.
They argue that this approach treats human beings not as souls or individuals with inherent worth,
But as data mine.
resources to be extracted.
Mining the mind.
Exactly. They make a really interesting comparison to the movie Ex Machina.
Great. Terrifying, but great.
Very fitting for this discussion. In that film, the tech genius, who is this clear amalgam of a Steve Jobs or Elon Musk archetype,
Right.
he builds a brain for an android. But how does he do it?
He doesn't just program it from scratch.
No, he mines the search data of the entire world.
Every query.
He uses all of our Google searches, our questions, our secrets, our desires.
To teach the machine how to think and feel like a human.
So we are just the training data.
We are the compost for the next crop of intelligence.
That is the exact argument the sources make. They actually reference a view attributed to Elon Musk.
The bootloader theory.
Yeah, that human beings might just be the bootloader for digital superintelligence.
Can you explain that for someone listening who might not be a huge tech whiz?
Sure. Think about a computer.
Okay.
When you turn it on, there's a tiny bit of code, the bootloader, that runs first.
Its only job is to start the machine.
Exactly. It just runs to start the main operating. And once the OS is running, the bootloader is done.
It's obsolete.
The theory is that biological human life is just the floppy disk you need to insert to get the real computer, the AI, running.
And once the computer is running, you could just toss the disk.
Toss it away. It's a very nihilistic view of humanity.
It really is. It suggests that our emotions, our connections, our grief,
It's all just raw data to be harvested to build something, quote unquote, better.
we aren't the point of the universe.
Yeah.
We're just the stepping stone to the machines.
Right.
That makes me feel incredibly small.
And used.
Definitely a little used. And the source points out they are using our addiction to do it.
Yes. They connect this back to the beauty filter law.
Right. Mark Zuckerberg was in court regarding whether Facebook intentionally makes platforms addictive.
Using beauty filters, infinite scrolls, dopamine loop.
All the tricks.
The source argues that this digital clone patent is just part of that exact same ecosystem.
They call it a can of worms that cannot be undone.
Because it's the ultimate retention hook.
Come for the baby photos, stay for the AI ghost of your high school friend.
If you can keep people engaging with dead users, you literally never run out of content.
It sounds cynical, but from a pure business standpoint, it's the logical next step.
If your user base dies, you lose customer.
Unless you digitize them.
Exactly.
So where does that leave us? We've looked at the horror of it, the business logic, the underlying philosophy.
The big question is the exit strategy. Section 6.
What do we actually do about this? Do we all go delete our accounts right now? Do we write a digital will?
The source discussion offers two very different perspectives on this, which I think perfectly represents the two ways most people are going to react to technology.
There is the pragmatism approach and the legacy approach.
Right.
Let's talk about the pragmatist first. This was the trash bag comment, right?
Yes. One of the speakers was incredibly blunt about his own mortality.
What did he say?
He said, "I don't give a flying F word what happens after I die."
Wow.
He told his family to, quote, "put my body in a trash bag."
It's a very nihilistic form of freedom, isn't it?
It is. It's the philosophy of I'm not going to know, so I just don't care.
The not my problem approach.
If I'm dead, I'm dead. If my bot goes crazy and posts slurs, I won't be embarrassed because I literally won't exist to feel embarrassment.
Right. But the counter argument to that is the burden on the living. Just because you don't care doesn't mean your family won't suffer from the fallout.
We talked about the scams, the confusion, the grief.
The source mentions that family members often have to petition these platforms just to take down pages or memorialize them properly.
It's a massive administrative burden during the worst time of your life.
It's paper.
It's fighting with automated customer support while you're grieving a spouse or a...
Loose end.
Exactly. Your apathy leaves loose ends that your children or your spouse have to tie up for you.
If your digital ghost is out there causing pain or getting hacked by scammers, that is a real problem for the people you left behind.
You're haunting them with your laziness.
That's a great way to put it, haunting them with laziness.
Yeah.
So just ignoring it isn't really
It's just dumping the problem.
But the source suggests that eventually we might just need to get...
The inevitability argument.
Yeah. As technology becomes more sophisticated, the line between a living user and a digital clone will blur completely.
We might reach a point where interacting with AI versions of people is just considered normal.
They made a prediction about this in the source, didn't they?
Yeah.
About how we will tell the difference in the future.
Yes. It was a fascinating inversion of the Turing test.
The Turing test being how we test if a machine can think like a human.
Right. They predicted a future where you literally can't tell if a video or a post is the real person or their AI unless the AI is too perfect.
The Turing test of incompetence.
Exactly. They joked that the only way to know a podcast host was real is if he stumbled over his words while reading an ad.
If he read it perfectly, it must be the bot.
Coughs or stutters or loses his place.
That's proof of life.
We are going to be looking for stumbles. For bad grammar.
For awkward pauses, just to prove we are watching a human being.
We are entering an era where competence signals artificiality and messiness signals.
We will crave the mistake.
We will.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener, right now? We've gone from a dry patent filing to the existential dread of digital immortality.
I think the key takeaway from everything we've looked at is that we need to be much more intentional about our digital.
This technology promises to keep us connected, sure.
But it risks turning our digital identities into puppets that just perform for an algorithm long after we have left the stage.
We need to decide, do we want an encore?
Or do we want the curtain to fall?
It's not just about who gets the house anymore.
Yeah.
It's who gets the password and who has the legal right to shut me off.
Precisely. It's about digital sovereignty.
So here is a provocative thought to leave you with as we wrap up this deep dive.
Something to think about.
We know the creator economy is brutal.
We know families need financial security.
If you genuinely knew that your digital clone could continue to earn money for your family after you die.
By keeping your social media active, by running ads, by keeping the engagement high.
Would you sign the permission slip?
Would you let the puppet keep dancing to pay the mortgage for your kid?
Or is silence the only dignified ending?
That is the ultimate question.
Something for you to mull over next time you see that green online dot next to a friend's name. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
We'll see you next time.